Hello everyone and welcome to the new ECG series, Easy ECG. In this series, I tried my best to make ECG can be understood in the simplest way. And as Kevin Durant said, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. So let's jump to the first chapter of the Easy ECG series, which is nomenclature of ECG deflections, and let's get started. In this chapter, we will talk about the electrocardiogram, the electrophysiology, the deflections, the intervals, the segments. So we will start with the first subject, which is the electrocardiogram. From its name ECG or the electrocardiogram, we can say that the electrocardiogram provides a graphic depiction of the electrical forces generated by the heart. And the ECG graph appears as a series of deflections and waves produced by each cardiac cycle. Before going on to the genesis of individual deflections and their terminology, it would be worthwhile mentioning certain important facts about the direction and magnitude of ECG waves and the activation pattern of the myocardium. Let's start with the direction of the ECG waves. By convention, a deflection above the baseline or isoelectric natural line is called a positive deflection, while one below the isoelectric line is a negative deflection. The direction of a deflection depends upon two factors, namely the direction of spread of the electrical force and the location of the recording electrode. In other words, an electrical impulse moving toward an electrode creates a positive deflection, while an impulse moving away from an electrode creates a negative deflection. Let's see this example. We will know that the sequence of electrical activation is such that the interventricular septum is first activated from left to right, followed by activation of the left ventricular free wall from the endocardial to the epicardial surface. So if an electrode is placed over the right ventricle, it records an initial positive deflection representing the septal activation toward it, followed by a major negative deflection that denotes free wall activation away from it. If, however, the electrode is placed over the left ventricle, it records an initial negative deflection representing septal activation away from it, followed by a major positive deflection that denotes free wall activation toward it. The second thing about the electrocardiogram is the magnitude. The height of a positive deflection and the depth of a negative deflection are measured vertically from the baseline. This vertical amplitude of the deflection is measured of its voltage in millimeters. The magnitude of a deflection depends upon the quantum of the electrical forces generated by the heart and the extent to which they are transmitted to the recording electrode on the body surface. Let's see this example. Since the ventricle has a far greater muscle mass than the atrium, ventricular complexes are larger than atrial complexes. When the ventricular wall undergoes thickening or hypertrophy, the ventricular complexes are larger than normal. And this is about the quantum. The second factor that the magnitude depends on is the extent between the heart and the recording electrode. If the chest wall is thick, the ventricular complexes are smaller than normal, since the fat or muscle intervenes between the myocardium and the recording electrode. And if the chest wall is thin, on the opposite side, the ventricular complexes are larger than normal. The third thing about the electrocardiogram is the activation of the myocardial wall. Activation of the atria occurs longitudinally by contiguous spread of the electrical forces from one myocyte to the other. Therefore, atrial activation can reflect atrial enlargement but not atrial hypertrophy. On the other hand, activation of the ventricles occurs transversely by spread electrical forces from the endocardial surface that facing ventricular cavity to the epicardial surface, which is the outer surface. Therefore, ventricular activation can reflect ventricular hypertrophy and not ventricular enlargement. So we have finished the first subject of today's lecture, which is the electrocardiogram, and let's jump to the question of this day. When does ECG has been discovered? Thanks for watching. I will be more than grateful if you press the like, subscribe button and share this video with your colleagues. If you have any suggestions to improve my channel, leave a comment and let me know please. See the description below for the newest updates and for more infos. Also, don't forget to follow us in other social media sites. Keep your narcotic dose and good luck.